if you could talk a little bit about good management you've seen and bad management you've seen, because you've been in both spaces where management isn't really taught.
Yep.
Um, Managers in the restaurant industry largely are either good because of experience and tenure or because they have a really, really great team and system. And I think the same is true on the IT space. There's not like, restaurant management college. There's not IT service provider management college, right? And if you want to go to school for management, you typically don't then go into the restaurant industry. And if you go to school for management, you still need a bunch of knowledge gained to be effective in the IT space because it's such a technical field.
Yep.
So for those two reasons, and it's not against the restaurant industry and it's not against the IT industry, it's just those are complicated functions that make it this way. For those two reasons, management skill is often kind of something that it happens intrinsically in those two spaces. So you see good and bad, right? Um, Talk to me about good and bad management you've seen on both sides and what it looks like. And how
Man,
maybe how it's
that's
different in the
yeah,
same.
no, that's such a great question, and now it's like got the wheels turning here. So, first off, I think in both industries, like you said, they do get promoted because you're good at the task at hand, right? So in the restaurant, thinking about it, like you would have your best line cook who is, or the best cook who is just a fantastic at you know, maybe fast orders, accurate, whatever things that you're looking at, your KPIs, right? Your order accuracy, how fast they're getting it to the window, cleaning, things like that. And all of a sudden you put them as manager. It's the same thing as if you take your best tech and hey, these are the guys who understand the ins and out of the tech, and maybe they have the most billable hours, or they can deep dive that topic. Well, now you're the manager of the tech team. Well, now those are two completely different skill sets. All right. Now you're in charge of overseeing the group of people, and you're not doing as much tech work, or you're not doing as much cooking, and your skills might not translate. And I think that definitely shows. I mean, one of the general manager prior to me was, uh, I get along with him, but boy, was it trying times, just because he had a terrible management style, very micromanagey, very, this is what I say it goes, without being able, there's no collaboration, just doing ridiculous things, not understanding core business concepts like cost of goods and things like that. It's just, he was a really good bartender, very good with beer and good, talking with clients, or customers, but it didn't translate to the management side. And it was one of those where, well, he was tenured, so let's go. Same thing kind of on the IT side, is maybe you're great at the IT, but you're, hey, this is micromanaging, this is how you have to do it. Maybe you're, spending more time on the tech and you're not really good at the delegation, things like that. Whereas on the flip side, the people who are collaborative, who understand, hey, even though you're the manager and you're in charge, like you're all on the same team. It's just you have different positions, right? If you think about a football team, your quarterback, your receiver, your lineman, you're all on the same team, but you're doing drastically different things. So even though I am technically a manager, or somebody who is in charge, like I'm still part of the team, and we're working together to achieve the same results. So in that manner, I rarely am like, hey, I'm above you, got to listen. Like, it's just collaborative and feeling them seen and heard, and working with them and getting to know them. But also sometimes having the hard conversations is a must. And I think that's another thing on the manager side, is not willing to have those hard conversations, or not knowing how to have them, can kind of destroy that culture as well. But like you said, it's something that's not taught, but it's completely different skills that you need to have, because it's a different position.
Absolutely. I love you pointing out how that promoting happens in those two industries, because they're challenging industries that require a lot of know-how. And the people that get promoted, like you said, are the ones that are good, people that have the most billable hours because they're productive. They know it backwards and forwards, so they created efficiency beyond the average person. An assistant manager that gets promoted to a GM, or even a pizza maker that gets promoted to an assistant, or even a driver that gets promoted to an inside staff. the driver was trustworthy enough to show up regularly for us to say, can you also do this, please, for more money? The pizza maker was consistent enough and made quality enough products where, okay, can you be in charge of other people doing this? And you just nailed it. Like, those skills don't translate. Going from the doer to the manager are two different things. And you have to be able to do, I think, to be a super effective manager. Now, you can be an effective manager with
Mhm.
limited do skills, but to be super duper effective, you've got to understand it well enough. But there's not none, but very few of the skills here translate. And really, the ones that do typically are intrinsic motivation and care, or the ability to make systems, or like time management, which are all kind of soft skills anyway. Um, it's a really, really great point.